Dear Californians, I have promised to tape you for God knows how long, and as this is my last possible opportunity, I don't want to make a liar out of myself. It's a beautiful Sunday morning or noon at this time. Really the first one we've had this year. The weather is, yeah, well, I'm assuming that they understand what I mean. The weather is bright. It's warm for us, around 40 to 50 degrees. I can't tell you which. Yesterday it was also warm. However, it was very windy. Today, actually, the wind now has gone, and it's very pleasant. Actually, I could even put the top down on my car and not be too far off. Several people had their tops down yesterday. There are only a few other convertibles in the state. But I thought that as long as I would see sunshine, that this would be ridiculous. The last few weekends have been rainy and very, very depressing. Actually, this is the first time that we could really go for a drive or do something nice, and this time we can't because the movers come next Wednesday, this being Sunday. So the house is in a mess, and I'm trying in my own little Holzman way to find things to do other than pack. Yes, I'm quite successful. A good friend of mine bought a tape recorder last week and is anxious to copy my tapes, as I have, around 50 of them, and it's a lot cheaper for him to copy mine than to buy pre-recorded tapes. So he's coming over very shortly to borrow the tape recorder, and he will keep it for a day or two, and then the movers come. Hence the desire to tape to you at this moment rather than to wait. This tape recorder also has a very distressing sound in it. I think I just pushed a lever so that you cannot hear it anymore, but I took it in the day of my birthday to have it fixed, and it does and does not do it now. It's not quite as constant as it was previously, but it's most annoying, and I hate to take it back to the shop because they're way on the other side of town, and it doesn't do it all the time, and the minute you get to the shop it doesn't do it, and then it's a mess. Possibly this thing will be bounced around in shipping anyway, so I'll just consider myself out a few dollars and try in Baltimore to have it fixed, where they probably have people who know what they're doing. In Anchorage, most mechanics and radio repairmen, etc., have been unable to get jobs elsewhere in the United States, and they come up here, and so your repair service is extremely poor. This is true in the South, I hear, also. But in Baltimore, we should have a little better luck. Ruthie's asleep now. She's a real doll. Yesterday and today, she has just been excellent. We took her to lunch yesterday, and actually this is the first time in 4 or 5 months that I've taken her out. I don't like to take babies out. We did take her to the Officers Club, and they had a family night every Tuesday, but I resigned from the Officers Club in January, mainly because the dues were so very, very high that even though meals were cheaper there, by the time you added on to the meals the dues, the meals became quite expensive. So we resigned in April, and I think it will save us or in January, it saves something like $100 a year. I did not mind taking her there because everyone else took their babies. But when you go out to a restaurant, it's rather distressing to have a infant screaming. So Ruth has not gone out with us for months. Well, yesterday we were downtown, and they had a special at the Hofbrau, and the Hofbrau is very similar to Tommy's Joint in San Francisco or the Hofbrau in Oakland. In fact, I think it's owned by the same people. And she just had a ball. Barbie bought her some mashed potatoes because she will do better with those than with anything else, and she took or grabbed a piece of Barb's French bread and just had a delightful time. And on the way home we stopped for a frosty freeze, and she enjoyed the cone immensely. The purpose of the trip had been a trip to the airport taking Snoopy to be shipped to Oakland. It was a very, very sad day in our household, and really I've grown so attached to this dog. He's a wonderful companion. Ruthie enjoys him immensely. She'll chew on the other side of his bone when he's chewing on one side. It's rather nauseating to think of most of these things, but they're just perfect companions, and she takes after him more than anything else. She always is crawling around the house with something hanging out of her mouth, usually one of his toys. She prefers his toys, he prefers her toys. It was very sad though, and I had been extremely nice to him the day before. I think I shared half my steak with him. Several people came over to bring him bones and to say goodbye to him. And then yesterday morning I spent all sorts of time running him and so forth and so on, gave him a Thorazine spancel. And by the time we got him to the airport, he was really worked up. Then they put him in this kennel, which was about the size that he is, and it was sad to see those big brown eyes peering out at you and the white tail sticking out. Anyway, if you would like to visit Snoopy, a member of the family, he is now residing in Walnut Creek most probably, but at one of S.M. Goldberg's veterinary hospitals. You've met Maury a couple of times, I think, a couple of times. You met him once over at Uncle Dick's, and the last time when you had this party for me, he came late, if you'll recall, from Oakland, and had 3 very cute daughters and a very, very cute little son. So Snoopy's in Oakland. If you have a chance and you're over there, say hello to him. I think you'll enjoy him also. We'll certainly see him when we get there, and then we'll arrive in Baltimore and make up our mind what our next move with him will be. Well, this is about the end of this side. I'll tape part of the other side and then let Barbie finish it. Possibly Ruthie will be awake by that time and she can jabber a few minutes for you. My plans, Bob, are very indefinite now. I would like to give you something concrete. I know you want something concrete, but you know the service, and I've got to wait for their specific instructions. I leave Anchorage on the 30th of May at 9:30, which is 11:30 Pacific Daylight Time. Therefore, I do not arrive in Seattle until early the 31st. Now, my car should also arrive in Seattle about this time.